keeping your hands warm when you're out in the woods is critically important, because to tie those knots, to light fires, you're going to need some dexterity. But glove choice is often difficult, because particularly for bushcraft and forest school and for outdoor instruction, you're going to want something that is both durable enough to cope with brambles and abrasion from logs, so on, and is also has enough dexterity to be able to accomplish those tasks that require finer motor skills, like lighting kindling or tying knots in paracord and so on. So in this video I'm going to show you my glove system and discuss which gloves I use and for what reason. So if you'd like to keep your hands toasty, then I'm Bracken of BrackenOutdoors.com, and keep watching. When I am out in the woods doing work, I typically use a 3-glove system. Now the first of these gloves is something fingerless, so a fingerless liner glove, relatively thin. These are wool kind of fingerless mitts, and they're actually made for using a technique called knot binding, and they are incredibly warm. But what's really nice about them is that you can get full dexterity with your fingers, and it still helps keep your hand warm. Now, because there's no fingers to these gloves, there's nothing to get caught in brambles, get snagged on twigs, all the things that you generally have a problem with liner gloves. Then, moving up from that, so these are the gloves I wear whenever I need to do fine motor tasks. Up from that, I have a pair of work gloves. So these are a pair of Hestra gloves. They're designed for bushcraft use, and these are what I wear when I'm doing tasks that don't require all that much dexterity, but I'm still working. So if I'm using a saw, if I'm carrying firewood around, if I'm moving heavy pots from the fire, I pop these gloves on. Now they do have a removable liner as well, but I tend to just keep that liner in. It's useful to be able to dry the liner of the gloves, but I find that I don't get enough dexterity for those small knots, for arranging tinder in a fire lay with even the liner gloves, these gloves. So that's my second glove. This is the work glove. These are quite hard wearing and good for those rougher tasks. Now, these 2 gloves are great for when I'm moving around, when I'm working, when I'm getting things done. But as soon as you start sitting down in camp, you're going to need something to keep your fingers a bit warmer when you haven't got that activity pushing blood to your fingers and keeping you warm. In this case, my third pair of gloves is a pair of mittens. The main advantage mittens have over gloves is that all of your fingers are sandwiched together, so they share heat. Whereas with a standard pair of gloves, each finger is individually generates its own bubble of heat, but you can't share heat across the fingers. So mittens tend to be a lot warmer, but as is pretty obvious, you lose dexterity. So mittens are great when you're just sitting still around the fire, or you're doing a bit of walking and you don't need that dexterity, then you can get on a pair of mittens. And there's another reason why I carry a pair of mittens. It's so that these are a second pair of gloves. So when my main work gloves get wet, as they inevitably do, you can then wear a pair of dry, warm gloves in camp. Now, it's not so critical in the UK, most of what you're doing, unless you're going up into the mountains, but there are places in Scandinavia, Canada, where not having a second pair of gloves can get you in serious trouble. So there you have it. That's my 3 glove system. So I got fingerless liner gloves, pair of good quality leather work gloves, and then a pair of warm mittens. Hopefully this has helped you out and will keep your hands toasty. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.